I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you are the proclaimed toughest or the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, or my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me, my YouTube videos, like what I say, whether you give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. It doesn't matter whether you threaten me or give me compliments. I still greet all you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Today happened to be Monday, May the 18th, 2020. Time of the vision, time for change, time for people to think, time for people to wake up. The time being about 6:35 p.m. Today, what I want to talk about, and I don't normally get to this particular level, but it's an individual by the name of John Cole said that I pled guilty to sexual misconduct. You see, one thing about John Cole and anybody in John Cole's circle, which is white supremacists, sellout blacks, and some, not all, of these corrupted law enforcement officials here in Charleston, Missouri, and in Mississippi County. You see, the information that he's giving you all concerning saying that I pled guilty to sexual misconduct, I know for a fact. I'm going to give you some history. Those that don't know it already, some people know it. You see all these documents here? These documents here going to show you that John Cole got some information from some law enforcement officials. If he or she not a law enforcement official themselves, and seen one thing which was either intentionally or mistakenly placed in these files. You see, when you plead guilty, you don't have 200 and something pages of transcripts, because you don't go to trial when you plead guilty. Now, I told you about the chief of police, Robert Bobby Hearns, here in Charleston, Missouri. You know the Hearns is a big family. Robert Hearns wrote a false police report or an affidavit to get me charged with sexual misconduct in the year of 2000. Now, when a person get a probable cause affidavit to get you arrested and charged with something, then this person supposed to come to court. Robert Hearns never came to court, never came to trial. You know why he didn't come to court and come to trial? Because the judge that was the sitting judge at that time, him and Robert Hearns grew up together. The state's attorney at that particular time, Jennifer Rafferty, family big farmers in this town. Judge Lynn Brown was very popular, but even though I took a jury, I still had respect for him and he had respect for me. But I'm going to show you better than telling you with documents that see John Cole nor his corrupted white supremacists or sellout blacks, law enforcement officials and sellout blacks can give y'all. See, this is something that he could probably tell y'all. You see what it says? This is the sexual misconduct. This is the thing that he gonna tell y'all that said I pled guilty, and I'm gonna show you they either did this intentionally or incompetency. Now here it says sexual misconduct, second degree. Whereas A, the said defendant, upon being duly arraigned before the court, entered his plea of guilty to said charge. That's what this say. Now look at this. The said defendant, being duly and lawfully tried in this court, was found to be guilty as charged in the information against him. Now, duly tried, you either pled guilty or you being tried. That shows you it's a contradiction. You don't plead guilty and then you being duly tried. But let me show you something that'll tell you that that's not true as far as me pleading guilty. Now, here it is where it says sentence and judgment. John Cole, we know he's illiterate. He or she is illiterate. You can see the grammar. Now, let's go to here. Misdemeanor dismissed. This is a sexual misconduct in the Class A that was dismissed. Misdemeanor Class B. Look. Found guilty by a jury / court. It didn't say plead guilty. You see the box? You see the box here? You see what it says? It says found guilty by a jury / court. Now, that's one thing. But let me show you something that John Cole and the corrupted police officials that gave him information that he shouldn't have had. But if anybody look at my YouTube videos, I told y'all that Bobby Hearns wrote of him and a white female by the name of Beth ACAP, who's not on the force anymore, who's been married about 5 times, but she got kicked off the force. They put a false charge on me. But Bobby Hearns never came to court. The public defender that I entrusted in, because I hadn't been down here no more than 3 or 4 years, I entrusted in him. After my case, he turned state's attorney. But let me show you this here. This is when I got sentenced. You see what it says? April the 4th, 2001. Now, the court, today's date is April the 4th, 2001. Speaking is Lynn Brown, Associate Circuit Judge of Mississippi County. This is the Circuit Court of Mississippi County Criminal Division. This is case number, you can see the case number, State of Missouri versus Raymond Ivey. Mr. Ivey is present today with his attorney, Greg Spence, who sold me out, a white public defender who turned state's attorney right after my case. Also present is the prosecuting attorney of Mississippi County. Remember I told y'all Jennifer Rafferty, big time farming family. And I note for the record that on February the 22nd, listen to this real good, 2001, a jury, not Raymond Ivey pleading guilty, a jury found the defendant guilty of the sexual misconduct in the 2nd degree. The class, I believe it was a Class B misdemeanor. And the jury recommended a term of jail, county jail, for 5 months and a fine not to be determined by the court. Now, that show you something that in order for me to plead guilty, I wouldn't have 200-300 pages of transcripts. I wouldn't have appellate transcripts because it wasn't no trial. You see, Let me tell you something else that John Cole and these white supremacists, and when I say white supremacists, I'm not talking about all white people, but I was going up against white supremacists. I would exclude Judge Brown, even though he wasn't fair when it came to the jury, because they had 11 white jurors and 1 black juror. They asked the juries, do you know the defendant or do you know the alleged victim? This black juror didn't answer, period. But when we had the trial, when we was in the middle of the trial and we took a break, the bailiff came back, the sheriff deputy came back and told the judge one of the jurors said that they know the alleged victim. Judge brought him out. Guess who it was? The black juror. We asked for a mistrial. Judge asked the lady, would she be able to judge fair? She said, yeah. Now, he asked her, how do you know her? Now, tell me this to be fair. She worked with the alleged victim and at the same time bought a mobile home from this same person. Now, here's a black man being charged of doing something to a white woman. And here it is, 11 jurors, white, 1 black, the state's attorney, high-ranking farming family. He was a lieutenant then, but he's the chief now. Robert Bobby Hearns family running the town. How could I win? But let me tell you, I didn't plead guilty to it because I know I didn't do it. That goes to show you that John Cole is a coward. He's a liar. You see what I'm saying? The people that gave him the information, that's all they could have gave him is this one thing here. You see what I'm saying? They shouldn't even gave him that. But this here shows you, all this here shows you what I'm fighting up against. You see, they done brought this here up plenty of times. Now they bringing it up again because I'm voting for Keith Moore against Brent Farrow. They keep on bringing up the incident with the female next door recently. But me and the female next door, she happened to be white and the old man happened to be black. We apologized to each other. She admitted she was just angry. You see what I'm saying? She didn't know the history of what Brent Farrow had did to my 2 daughters and what he did to me. You see what I'm saying? So when he bring that, like I said, I didn't have to bring this here, but I want y'all to be able to see Raymond Lewis Ivy didn't plead guilty to nothing. And with the other case, with the so-called harassment, that was the present NAACP president who Susanna Wesley, Brent Farrow, the present sheriff, Bobby Hearns, the chief of police, and all these other white supremacists and sellout blacks support. I just merely videoed him saying something that wasn't true, but yet they prosecuted me. But I did my 2 years probation. You see what I'm saying? I didn't harass him. He told him he was afraid of me, but he wasn't afraid of me. But I tell you one thing about it. Susanna Wesley Family Learning Center, the chief of police, Brent Farrow, and most of all them other ones, all you got to do is look. It's one of the sheriff deputies that has a felon in the Mississippi County Sheriff Department. But they ain't bringing it up. The NAACP president and the vice president, one has been convicted of voter fraud and the other one convicted of rape. You'll know which one is which. The voter fraud, coming in the black community, misusing the black drug addicts and alcoholics, giving them $1 to vote. Peace be still.